go on then. Tell us who the winner of the week is.
I'm waiting for my drum roll. Oh, there it is. President Putin.
Vladimir Putin. and why, pray tell, JJ, is Vladimir Putin your winner of the week?
He simply is standing up for what he thinks is in his country's best interests. Kevin, let me tell you, I'm a proud Brit. I'm a proud Brit. But the Western world has a very short memory. If the Ukraine enter NATO, if they're allowed to join NATO, the US can put their weapons anywhere they want in the Ukraine.
Well, you know what? I'm going to surprise you here. There is something ridiculous about the fact that this dispute revolves around this kind of conceit that the Ukraine should be allowed to join NATO.
Yeah.
NATO doesn't lead Ukraine to join. Why don't we just say you can't join? And then old Vladimir would sort of skittle back to Russia, wouldn't
he? Because in 2008,
mean,
NATO promised Ukraine, you can join NATO in the future. They didn't give them an official date of when they can do it.
It's just to antagonise Russia.
Yeah. In 1945? No.
Yeah, that's just straight after the war.
Yeah, in 1962, Soviet Union moved nuclear missiles to Cuba. JFK, president at the time, said, move those missiles, they're too close to us.
61, wasn't it?
Oh, maybe 61, 62.
61.
The 60s.
The Cuban Missile Crisis.
Yeah. JFK...
Followed by, preempted by the Bay of Pigs fiasco.
Yeah. So the Soviet Union removed the missiles because it was 90 miles from between Florida and Cuba. Now...
When the world held its breath.
Yes.
I mean, it did.
Yeah. 2 seconds to midnight.
We thought we'd get a nuclear war there.
Exactly. Now the Americans want to be able to put their weapons in the Ukraine right next to Russia. So I think actually Putin is doing the right thing in that respect.
I thought this would be a bit more explosive, but actually I've always had my doubts about... there's definitely an element of the West taunting Russia.
Yeah.
Obviously, Putin has this kind of outmoded love for the Soviet Union. Mm-hmm. He thinks the breakup of the Soviet Union was the great tragedy of the world in the 20th century, but it wasn't. And he wants to get Ukraine back. There's another thing about the Ukraine. There are 8 million Russians live there.
Yes. Yeah. And Crimea, which obviously has been taken back by Russia. Yeah. If NATO have Ukraine as a member... and then they say, actually, we want Crimea back, all of the NATO members have to send guards in there to try and tackle to retrieve Crimea, which is another reason why Putin doesn't want them there.
Yeah. Do you think he will invade?
No, I don't think he will.
Do you know what I thought was the most significant event of the week in terms of will he, won't he invade? And by God, I hear on the news bulletins everywhere, who's on the point of invasion? It's like, hang on, I've been listening to this for 5 weeks now. As I keep saying, I think we'll cover this story when they do invade.
Yeah.
But do you know what happened really significantly about 3 days ago?
No.
So Putin's got a super yacht. A massive super yacht like all those oligarchs have, and it was being kept in a German port on the North German coast. 2 days ago it sailed out of there and made its way to the nearest Russian port, so he feared that if he invades Ukraine they seize his super yacht. So that might be significant, but then again, knowing Putin, he probably did it to wind everyone up. You know what I mean? Putin's a thug. He's an international.
He is.
He's a thug.
He is. He absolutely
He's an
is.
international thug. But I do think there's an element of the West winding him up, and the Ukraine joining NATO business is nonsense. I mean, we don't need Ukraine in NATO.
No,
that is purely to antagonise Putin. So I'm sort of probably nearer your point than even I expected, actually. But I wouldn't make him winner of the week by a long chalk.
You know what? My actual winner of the week is your wonderful producer, Amy Heather. That is my real winner.
No. She's a loser because she's leaving. She's loser of the week for leaving. So, like I said, earlier in the month, my producer, about a month ago, my former producer, Will Mayrick, left.
Yeah.
So as I said, to lose one producer in a month is sad. To lose too borders on carelessness.
Yeah.
So, really sad that Amy is leaving.
Sad times.
JJ, thank you so much for your winners and losers of the week. We'll do it all again next week. Thanks very much, mate. That's JJ Anisiobi, Talk Radio's Showbiz Guru. When we come back, we'll be taking your calls, 0344 499 1000. I'm Kevin O'Sullivan, and this is Talk Radio.